Greetings, I'm Eric with Your Essential Practice. For this week's Divinely Guided Rune reading, we have a bunch of astrological transits occurring, but none of them are super significantly major. However, as usual, I have all the information in the description box down below. So please do not forget to check that out if you're a little lost during these rune reading videos. Now, thank you to everyone who hung in there with me this last week while I recovered from illness. Hopefully that major rune reading that I did last week for the collective sufficed, but for now, let's get back into the rhythm and the flow of your Zodiac weekly Divinely Guided Rune reading. Here we go. Greetings, Aquarius, and welcome to your Divinely Guided Rune reading here for the week. And let's jump right on in. Here in your energetic recent past, you've been surrendering to divine flow. This is Radho. This is like the Chariot card in tarot. This is surrendering to the divine flow and changing maybe of house, spouse, or career. Maybe even just changing your energetic vibration. A lot of times when I say change of house, spouse, or career, this is more like surrendering to the flow and realizing that the stagnant energies that weren't serving your divinely guided source blueprint, like a relationship that was probably souring or a dead-end job, so to speak. It was time to move on to where divine was calling you to be here in the energetic recent past. So be that as it may, take what resonates, leave what doesn't here, Aquarius, but here's your energetic rune for the now. Unraveling mysteries, uncovering mysteries, revelations. Pertho is the Gambler's Cup. This is like a initiation or a friendly competition, board game. The Gambler's Cup is a game. It's a gamble. It's like a board game, or maybe even a pregnancy where you know how it begins. You're pretty sure you're knowing how it's going to end, but you want to help it along the best way you can. And through the process, through the pivots of the energies, the twists and turns, you also come out with a shifted perspective. You've learned. You've been through it. You've been initiated. You surrendered to divine flow and you went through it. You took that energetic leap where divine was saying, look, take the energetic leap. I got you. Yeah, and you're doing it. You're doing it now. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful, surrendering to flow and putting yourself in the hands of this divine of gamble. Now, this is a good reminder that it's not totally up to the invisible forces. And you still can help it along, but you do need to remain in flow. All right, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Let me know in the comments below how it all works for you. In your energetic near future is Ansus. Ansus is that antenna rune of communication. This is divine downloads, prophetic dream work. You could have like a premonition dream coming up here throughout this. You could have more aha moments, clairsentience, clairaudience, all your clairs sometimes going off, so to speak, where you don't know how you know, you just know. And a lot of that comes from uncovering this, being initiated. So you're more in tune with divine flow, divine inspiration, and information. The communication that comes into you, you're a lot more receptive to. That's beautiful. In your energetic influence, a lot of people have been getting this in this specific position this week. This is crazy. So Manas is the rune in your energetic influence for the now. This is wondering where your place in the world is, noticing what goes around comes around. This is the rune of mankind. This is Manas. This is one clan flag, and it sees another clan flag. So Manas is that one clan flag, and it looks at the other. That incites a definition of, not an other than, not necessarily a good or a bad, where it's going to invite or call for defense, is just saying other than. Like recognizing where you're placed in the world, where you're placed in the collective, where you're having more like a settling of that divine flow of like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is where I'm settling in at. This is where I'm sifting in to be, from surrendering to divine flow, being initiated, like uncovering some of those mysteries and getting more of the clarity of definition, and also realizing that a definition isn't always needed. That's a big one, Aquarius. A definition is not always needed. Some definitions are just there just to help us understand stuff because we're stuck in this cognitive dissonance loop. Your information and your influence for the now, your vice actually for the now, is that clarity rune of Dagas. Transmute those energies. So Dagas is the rune of it's like the temperance card in tarot. This is that night turning into day sort of clarity. Dagas here means day is irreversible, and Dagas here is in the middle of manas. You see there, Dagas right here in manas. So whatever happens, whenever you shift your perspective and invite new energies in, or defend yourself, whenever you're shifting these, whenever you're having in the hand, not in divine flow of this, you're going to make a lot of transmutation type of energies. You're going to change the alchemical process that it's going through naturally. Okay, you're going to influence it then. All right, so let it happen naturally. Okay, this is uncovering mystery, surrendering to divine flow, right? So Dagas is like that hourglass tipped on its side. This is that moment of time outside of yourself where it's like, aha, clarity. And that's where it feels like you're going to have this almost right away. Divine downloads, like, wow, all that information. Yes, say yes to that. Don't second guess it. Don't look for that definition of it, but you're under that influence of that definition. Just remaining in divine flow and uncovering those mysteries, and it'll happen on its own. The night will clear away, and it'll show this clarity of this communication here in your near future. So, what do we have for an energetic outcome for you for this whole reading? Yeah, Fehu. More abundance. Look at that. So being patient has its rewards. Surrendering to flow has its rewards. Transmuting, doing the due diligence, having that clarity, and receiving this is going to shift your aspect of abundance, and it's also going to increase your abundance. This Fehu means cattle. This is very grounded. Remember, when the line's going straight down from the rune, it's very grounded. So that is awesome. This is very much an increase of abundance, awareness, positivity. The warning here is that when your abundance increases, it can be distracting because you're going to have more responsibilities and more options to do this. But remain in your divine communication here with this, so you can invest this abundant energy here rightly in the future. You're doing so good in transmuting and surrendering to divine flow right now. You are going through a big change in your life, so allow that to happen. Let that abundance come in. Abundance is always open to us. It's always us that creates the blocks to it. Let's get a card of clarity now from these beautiful single word handmade oracle cards. Message of clarity from Divine. So Divine, please show us clearly what message of clarity does Aquarius need to hear for this week? For this week's divinely guided rune reading. What message of clarity does Aquarius need to hear? Please show us clearly. Oh, let's do one card, please. Please show us clearly what message of clarity does Aquarius need to hear for this week. I keep doing that. You want this one? Okay. Love. Yep. Love. Just love yourself, love others, Be in love, let everything pass through that great love filter. Am I receiving it with love? Am I perceiving it with love? Am I responding to it with love? Am I reacting? Am I responding? Is it with love? If your answer is no to any of those love questions, then you know where you need to go within for healing. You don't have to be guiltful or shameful about it, because guilt and shame doesn't have love with it, does it? Lovingly go within for yourself and get that clarity. All right? In all things you do, include love. Namaste. Have a blessed and abundant week.